everything that comes and goes from Berm Peak, be it bikes, supplies, or the gator, was traversing this little patch of lawn next to my driveway. As you can see, it wasn't a good long-term solution. And so BP1 was born. Hastily. BP1 is a short double-track forest road that connects the driveway to the trails. And while it is a better solution than driving over the lawn, it's not going to work either, at least not in its current state. Now, I would have improved BP1 a while back, but it's not single-track. It's not really a mountain bike trail at all, so I honestly don't even know where to start. Luckily, my friend James does.
Our goal was to set this whole corner at about this level.
If James looks familiar, it's because he owns Squatch bikes, which we've featured several times. But in a past life, James was a professional machine operator. He now refers to it as therapy. Since the summer, James has been itching for some machine therapy on Berm Peak, and I've been resisting it. But BP1 isn't exactly a shining example of hand-cut single-track, and James has our best interests at heart. So I ordered whatever James told me to and had it delivered to the house. That included about 30 tons of gravel, which we're storing in the auxiliary parking spot. Ironically, that spot is what really needed the gravel. We also took delivery of stone, lots of stone, some of which we hand-picked to ensure we'd have the right shapes and sizes for the project. To move the stone and gravel, I borrowed my neighbor's tractor, and on the morning of the job, James's therapist arrived. James used the excavator to place boulders on the low side of the road, so we could build it up with gravel. With much smaller boulders, Gary the stonemason built rows across the road to keep the gravel from sliding down. James recommended we hire Gary, and I'm really glad we did. But that left me as kind of the new guy on the job, trying desperately to be helpful and not make too big of a fool of myself. My first job was to use the tractor to transport stone around the back of the job site. So one by one, I gorillaed stone into the bucket. I'm sure a more experienced operator could have made quick work of this, but I've actually never operated a front loader before. Learning to control the loader was surprisingly easy, and only took a minute. But learning the machine's capabilities and limitations took all weekend. When there's a load in the bucket, the tractor handles completely differently. And when traversing uneven terrain, how you position the loader is essential. I damn near flipped this tractor on my first few runs. But with repetition, things got easier. By now you may notice that we're completely destroying the lawn that this road is meant to protect. But we knew this going in and we have plans for it. But if any of you were wondering why I've been avoiding large machinery, it's because of this. Still, this project is going to be well worth the mess. As we got the stone in place, James had me run gravel to the job site so we could start building the actual road. The gravel first gets graded with a rake, and then compacted with a plate tamp. At first, it looks almost like concrete, but within a few months, all this gravel will sort of blend in like a normal forest road. As the day wore on, we fell into a rhythm, and things started moving along real quickly. By nightfall, we had made it about 3/4 of the way to the end, but rain was in the forecast for the following afternoon, so we'd have to wait till Sunday to finish up the road. following morning at the crack of dawn, I set out to get a side project done before the rain came in. The day before, James stealthily placed some rocks in some key locations along the road. The counterpart to these rocks would be a dirt lander, and I only had a few hours to build one before the place got soaked. Some of the gravel in the parking space got mixed in with the clay underneath, so I used the tractor to scoop a bunch of that dirty gravel into the gator to use on the landing. Between the dirt excavated from the road and that dirty gravel, there was more than enough material to build a landing. But if we were going to ride it this weekend, it would need to be compacted a lot. I got the landing done just before it started raining, and we only had one more day to work on the road. Sunday morning, we set out to finish the last bit of road before noon, but there was a problem. The rain from the previous day made running the tractor really sketchy. We considered running it down the road we just built, but I didn't want to risk it on the steep part with all that weight in the bucket. So we used the gitter. No, I didn't have the foresight to get the power dump bed, but we made it work and the job started picking up momentum again. By the afternoon, we had reached our goal for the weekend and started wrapping things up, and it was finally time to test out the jump. The first lip is obviously this little diving board rock off the edge of the road. It can't be more than a 5-foot gap. But if you boost off this rock further back, you can pre-hop the entire thing, lip and all. Of course, it all connects to the snake pit skinny, which used to end in a muddy disaster. But these fun, intuitive rock features were a little out of place on Berm Peak. We needed something sketchier. It's super chill. I'm gonna hit it.
I believe in you.
Oh no, I did not have the speed. I gotta get a little more speed. That was sketch. Option 3 was a little bucky, meaning it wants to throw you over the bars. So we did a little shaping with gravel to make the transition smoother. Way smoother. While the gap isn't all that big, you need to clear it off a 4-inch rock, and that's exactly the kind of sketchiness we like around here. But for maybe the first time on Berm Peak, we have a really good approach, and 2 other really intuitive options. I named this feature the Squatch jump after James's bike shop, and later that day, both of James's mechanics, Sean and Pat, stopped by to try it out. James and Gary got a real kick out of watching their work being enjoyed in this way. It's hard to imagine walkways and staircases eliciting the kind of reaction this rock feature does.
Woo! I guess that line works, huh?
That was good.
I'm looking forward to the spring when we can transplant some rhododendrons along the edge of this road and make it blend back into the woods. And I'm really looking forward to my yard not looking like this. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching us build a gravel road. And if you have any ideas for what we should do with all that speed after the landing, put it down in the comments. Thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time.